with a quick deck overview for Jund Saga, one of the decks in our final four of decks for the channel. Moving forward, we wanted to get back to one center deck around which the channel kind of operates. Obviously, we'll still be doing the deck guides and quick deck play and all that stuff, but I want to get back to there being one main deck on the channel. One of the decks that we haven't covered in quite some time is Jund Midrange, Jund Saga. We have done Mono Black Coffers, we have done Hardened Scales in somewhat recent memory, but we have not touched Jund in a minute. Now, Jund is generally a good stuff deck, has been since it was originally part of the meta in Shards of Alara Standard. It's a deck that is very endearing in the parts of many modern players. It was one of the better mid-range decks in the format for a long period of time. Now it's kind of become a meme because it's still a good pile deck, but there are generally other better mid-range piles, etc. The flavor that usually sees the most play is Jund Saga, named so for both the three-color mid-range of black, green, and red, as well as playing Urza Saga, some type of package. This particular deck is by Respect the Cat, who is notable for his mid-range piles, whether it be this, Omnath piles, etc. You'll see a lot of cards that has in common with something like Rakdos Scam, with the Ragavan package, Thoughtseize, Fatal Push, those kind of things. But you do get to play Orcish Bowmasters, but you get to play powerful cards like Run and 6 and Tarmogoyf that the Green Splash brings you, as well as having Questing Beast as a very powerful option. This is kind of your pseudo-expressive iteration for these colors, while also coming with a 1/1 body that grows as you cast non-grade spells. And then the rest of the deck is removal, good stuff deck, basically. Hand Disruption, good, basically the same thing as Rakdos Midrange and Pioneer, or Rakdos Scam without the Scam in Modern. Then you have a small Urza Saga package, Respect the Cat choosing to play Haywire Might, relevant against a whole bunch of things in the format, whether it be Amulet of Vigor, things out of Tron, opposing Urza Sagas, etc. Mishra's Research Desk is a card. I think I see this most frequently out of M. Hayashi red piles, but still good, a little bit more expensive version of Mishra's Bauble, basically. You don't get the information, but you do get a little bit more card selection, plus it has an unearth ability, so this can let you look at 4 cards out of the top of your deck. Nihil Spellbomb for any graveyard nonsense, Pyrite Spellbomb as both a shock that is colorless for things like Sanctifier and Vec, etc., while also being a tutorable removal spell, and then Shadow Spear, allowing you to make your Tarmogoyfs and Questing Druids, as well as potentially some of your other creatures large and in charge, as well as your Urza Saga tokens themselves. The sideboard, once again, generally gets better in most mid-range matchups, or most post-board matchups. 2 copies of Haywire Might to pair with your third one in the main deck for any type of artifact nonsense, whether that be Hammer Time, Hardened Scales, Affinity, Tron, anything packing a huge amount, as well as a way to answer the One Ring. 3 copies of Besiju Who Endures. I think this is making a large statement that this deck really kind of struggles with opposing Urza Saga decks, but also good against, once again, Tron, etc. Stone of Erek is another graveyard hate piece, mainly for scam matchups. 2 copies of Soul Guide Lantern. Helps in a lot of different matchups, whether it be Living End, decks like Murktide, etc. Pithing Needle, nice card to have as a one-of to go fetch random situations, shut down opposing planeswalkers, a whole bunch of different things that shuts down. So it's a nice thing to have as a one-of. Terminate Molten Collapse to add to your removal spells. Get to run Gigantha, and then 2 of Engineered Explosives. You can go up to X equals 3, which means you can everything from Blood Moons to Lilianas, on down the line, Ragavans, Colossal Hammers, and so many different things this answers. Then a 1 of Alpine Moon, good against opposing Urza Sagas, helping slow Tron down, etc. So I think this is a very well balanced Urza Saga or Jund Saga list. The main difference between this and what most people consider normal Jund these days really is the mana curve. Jund Saga plays a little bit more of a lower mana curve, much like the old Luris deck, whereas normal Jund might play things like Fable the Mirror Breaker, Shoulder It, basically becoming Rakdos Scam with a third color. Basically, you're adding, just the good stuff cards in the 3 and 4 mana slots, potentially even things like Bloodbraid Elf. But yeah, this is one of the more powerful decks in Modern. Doesn't see as much play because it's generally overshadowed by Omnath Piles and Scam, but it is a deck that is near and dear to a lot of Modern players' hearts, especially as we jokingly refer to them, the boomer Modern players, because it was a big part of the format early in its inception, and it's kind of gotten weaker as things go along, but still a deck that does see some play, and you should be aware of, and is one of the 4 finalists for our deck channel, along with Hardened Scales, Mono Black Coffers, and Humans, 2 of which we've covered recently. The other one that we haven't covered recently is Humans, which I will do another quick deck hit for to get some idea of what that deck looks like these days. But let's get into the match, and if you like Modern content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're here with quick hits with one of the decks for our semifinals. For the deck channel deck, that is Jund Midrange / Jund Saga. I think we can potentially do better on 6. One-laner is just a little too close for comfort. Keep this hand, put back one of the Bowmasters. So Jund Saga, Jund Midrange. Really the only difference between the 2 decks is the mana curve and the use of Urza Saga. Jund Midrange sometimes goes up to 3 and 4 mana plays like Fable, Sheoldred, those kind of things. Whereas Jund Saga has a little bit lower curve. Double Urza Saga is going to be a bit of a mess. Pass. Just doing this main phase because our opponent could easily have whatever that stupid card is. Surge of Salvation. Interesting. Okay. Okay, now I have Spellbound, doesn't do much. Okay, that was just dumb. think here we're looking to get our basic forest, play Nihil Spellbomb, crack Nihil Spellbomb, and then define the removal spell. Pass. Opponent. Question is, what is better to chump with this turn? I feel like Bowmasters might be a better chump because their deck, I mean, it does draw some cards with pure steel, but maybe it's just supposed to be questing druid. Alright, moving on. Definitely want the engineered explosives, definitely want these guys, definitely want the haywire mites. Pithing needle is debatably good. Alpine moon could be okay, but Sages could be okay. Bowmaster's kind of middling against them. Spellbomb doesn't do anything. Pirate Spellbomb's okay against specifically their Sanctifier and Vec and such they might bring in. Thoughtseize is okay, a little bit middling, I guess. So is it just Orcish Bowmasters? And then try that because I don't think Ragavan's ever actually getting through. Okay, hand seems fun. Opponent concedes. This is where the Seiju might be fun. Mm-hmm. Okay. Of course, you have Surge. Mm-hmm. The heck would you bring in Draenith Magistrate for? Mm-hmm. Tarmo Goofy. Seek the Beast. Termaglyph. Probably should have played an equipped Shadow Spear here. pass. +5/+5 for Stark Trample, Destructible Haste. Exile that creature. Fun. Mm-hmm. Got a hammer. Of course you do. Alright. Unfortunate.